Alright, YouTube, here's my neighbor's project. I still got to take these limbs off, but that's all on me. The dump quit taking brush and fixing to start taking it back out. And of course, that's firewood. I'm going to haul that all up there on the trailer. But here's the dirt work. The dirt work wasn't in the deal, for me to do. But I cut the trees and ground the stumps. That's what I got paid to do, is cut the trees, grind the stumps. And instead of having sawdust in it, like the other people did back here, which, it's not typical that people put dirt back in them, but instead of having a bare spot, rather, where there's, see that? Where there's no, that was a tree there, where there's no dirt, it takes a long time for that sawdust to grow grass. She was worried about that, and so I told her that if if she'd buy the topsoil, since I'd spread it for her, just being neighborly, you know what I mean? But this is how it turned out. Ain't bad. I got to drive over it just a little bit more, but I drove over this. I ground the stumps 3 inches below the ground, and that's pretty typical. And especially I put 2 inches to 3 inches of topsoil everywhere except where it fades out there. I just followed the ground. Of course, when you start doing work somewhere, and anybody that works for themselves, I don't run into this often, but I do sometimes. You get people around. When you start doing work around, all of a sudden they turn into dirt workers and stump grinders and tree cutters, and they want to tell you how to do it, and they couldn't cut a 2-inch tree without having somebody help them. And but anyway, they don't know the whole deal, and I wasn't completely done, and want to try to say that I ain't doing it right, which deal was me spreading the dirt. I did that. It looks good, but that was an extra. That was being a neighbor. I did what I was supposed to: cut the trees, grind the stumps, and if you want to get work and make people happy, or try to make people happy, I try to go above and beyond, and that's why I done the dirt work, because it makes it look better. It'll grow grass, and by next spring, you'll hardly be able to tell any trees were cut. But, in the same sense, I can't get a D9 dozer out here and rework the whole yard and make it all flat and take all the rolls out of it. I followed the contour of the lay of the land that was already here. You can see this driveway comes up, and then it goes back down, and up here where this mound is, that's partly in the driveway, but that's where that tree grew up in under the driveway. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I don't, I can't grind asphalt and everything else. For one, it'll tear my grinder all the pieces, and for two, it'll sling rocks and chips and crap so far, it'd be more of a liability. And plus, she's getting her driveway redone sometime next year or something. And when they come in, they can just cut that out and with their equipment or whatever. And I'm a little high, but I did that for one reason. When it rains, everything's going to seep down, and I put a little more dirt on this where the stumps were, because the deal is, as them stumps rot on down and the roots rot on down, they're going to sink. And if you don't put a little extra dirt, you're going to have a low spot. And people don't understand that. They've got it in their mind how they think it should be, but they don't have the knowledge of what works and what happens in the real world is the problem. You get everybody's 2 cents, and that's fine. Everybody's got opinion. It's just some people's got good ones and some people's wrong. And, you can only do what you can do with what you got to work with. Like I say, I can't come in with a track hoe and a D9 dozer and dig all this out. I mean, I could, but it's going to cost considerable amount of money and a lot of time, and it's going to be way more messy. You know, these trees were huge, and the roots go as far as the canopy is on them, so, you know, they're going to be, you'd tear up this whole yard trying to get all that out. So I ground what I could, you know, and up here at this corner, I was, you know, 3 or 4 inches lower. This side, I was 3 or 4 inches lower, but the way the ground come out, I was still high right here, and I had more to grind, but I had to clear some sawdust. You know, I had 3 piles of sawdust like that right there, and then I come back over and ground this down here 3 inches below, so it's 3 inches below on a taper, and then I just followed the dirt, because right there is the ground, and the way the original ground was, and I'm just only a couple inches above that. But eventually all that'll kind of settle, and it'll be you know, it'll sink down. But all in all, once the grass grows, I think it's going to be real good, because you got rolls right there and rolls right here off towards my place. And, you know, I can't just flatten that out. It's got to roll with it, you know. I did try to fill some voids in here and there that was kind of ditchy-witchy, but I didn't grind the stump way on out and get the dirt way down, because I knew I was going to float everything out, you know, and that's what people don't see. That, you know, I could have took and ground that stump way around 6 foot and got it all flat, but that's just more dirt you're going to have to put in there and contour it again, because, you know, you go so low, it's just fill dirt, and then you're still going to have to mount it to follow the ground that was already here, you know. And I'm no dirt working professional, and that's why I just done it as a favor to try to get grass to grow back. I was actually only supposed to do it over where the stumps were, and then there's another spot right up here. But we ended up getting a big tracks load or whatever, and so I spread it a little more just to try to make it look good. And that's just how it turned out. But anyway, it all looks good, I think, and Mommy's washing the driveway off. I'm gonna come back over with my bristle broom whenever it dries up and sweep it, but right now it's just so daggum dusty. I ain't gonna, you'd be dusting people out, you know. So I'm just trying to get a path. If somebody pulls up here, it ain't just mud. It's gonna rain tomorrow. We ain't had rain in a while. We need some. But anyway, I'll catch y'all later, and y'all have a good one.